Alright, we are on the play with some Rug Delver. How good's this hand? I'm going to say it's good enough to keep. Traverse and Bauble combined are going to help us ramp out a Mandrills and hit our land drops. That gives us a decent threat, at least 2 lands and a few pieces of interaction. I'm going to say that's hopefully good enough. We are not going to have interaction up on turn 1. Do I want to Bauble before Misty? Probably not. I don't think there's any value to be gained there. I was considering using Bauble so that I could scry with my fetch land, but I think I'm almost certainly using the fetch land so I can traverse right now. We really want to fill up our graveyard here. Bauble's going to put the 3rd card in there. Wow, that's fantastic. I like Bauble. I don't know how good it actually is, but it feels good. Now, do we want to see what our opponent's drawing now or after? Let's check now. What do they got? On top of the deck, drawing Noble Hierarch. Okay. That could actually be quite a few decks. The opponent has a Misty Rainforest. Cracking it. Did they mull to 5? I believe they mulled to 5. 6 cards being on the draw, yes, they mull to 5. Breeding Pool, are they slamming Hierarch? They are. Okay. Breeding Pool, technically, could be a blue-green Infect deck. Ooh, we got to draw 2 cards thanks to our Mishra's Bauble. That drawing 2 cards in succession actually felt really great there. I saw Goyf and I was like, cool, we got a Goyf return. Obviously forgetting about the Bauble. Then I saw Delver. I would probably be so bad with Bauble triggers and paper, I would absolutely have a die on top of my deck. There's no question in my mind that I want to bolt this Hierarch. Goyf's going to be a 5/6, which is fantastic. Sooner or later we're going to slam that. Now, the opponent is either playing a Bant deck, most likely, or an Infect deck. If they're on Infect, I probably want to hold up Spell Snare. Otherwise, I think I want to slam this Delver. You know what, I'm just going to be proactive here. It's pretty unlikely that they're playing Infect. The reason I mentioned Infect specifically is they had a green fetch and they got a blue-green land, the Breeding Pool, which is extremely common in Infect. Noble Hierarch, well, green fetches and Breeding Pool are also very common in all other Bant decks, Humans, Nightfall, the lot of them. So I didn't really want to put much stock in that. It looks like we're playing against a Bant Spirits deck. I didn't really want to put that much stock in it. I was definitely worried about Infect, though, given that we have no interaction for creatures once they hit the board right now. Forest is actually pretty good, because it means we can slam Goyf while holding up counter magic. That's definitely something I am interested in. We're not going to swing with Delver here, because Wanderer... I guess there aren't really any spirits they could flash in. It only gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I think that's fine. Then again, they could use it to counter our Stubborn Denial. Let's swing. If they trade, we have a good Stubborn Denial in case they have Path for Goyf. And really, Goyf's doing way more work than Delver here. If they don't decide to take the trade, we get 1 damage in. I'm pretty happy with both outcomes. Let's go to the opponent. 5/6 Goyf. So yeah. In fact, I was a little worried about, because if they resolved a Blighted Agent on turn 2, we're probably in a huge bit of trouble here. On the other hand, holding up Spell Snare could have also been good against a Bant Company deck, in case they had something like a Voice of Resurgence, pretty difficult for us to deal with. Then again, 5/6 Goyf in hand. I guess Voice of Resurgence isn't going to be the end of the world there. I think, overall, I just want to be proactive, which is why I played the Delver. I definitely don't know, though. The opponent fetched now to get their Hallowed Fountain. Oh, they're going to get themselves a Goyf if we don't counter that. I apologize, sir, but you're not allowed to have Goyf. Only I can have Goyfs. I definitely don't want the opponent to have Goyfs. That's probably obvious, Phantasmal Image. Really great. Using Mausoleum Wanderer, they are going to have Goyf. At least they no longer have that. Hopefully we top deck a Bolt or a Vapor Snag. Something that can target the fake Goyf. I don't like the Imposter. Well, I guess there's that. It's harder to lose the Goyf war when you have two of them. We could also give up our Goyf to get rid of their Goyf, but our Goyf is definitely better than their Goyf, in that anything that targets their Goyf gets rid of it, whereas our Goyf doesn't have that problem. There's also the fact that us having a second Goyf, I'm saying the word Goyf so much here. Our second Goyf means we can swing with both, and we just obliterate them in the race. We also have Denial up still, which is pretty great. What's that do? Oh, it shows that it was Phantasmal Image. Oh, that's cool. Yep. The opponent might have a Spell Queller. That's definitely a consideration. That's not going to help us. I'm pretty sure we just swing with both Goyfs here. We will play the Scalding Tarn. Ooh, it's a Vendilion Click. Not something we can interact with. Probably takes our Stubborn Denial so they can path one of our Goyfs. Yep. Might take Mandrills, though. Mandrills is another good fatty. They decide to take nothing. Just using Vendilion Click for the peak mode. Or I guess the Gitaxian Probe mode. Rest in peace. The opponent seems confused. Yep. They probably meant to do that after we drew. Maybe they just misclicked? Who knows? Looks like they misclicked. Yep. They took Mandrills. Makes sense. Mandrills looks pretty good on this board. We did get a Serum Visions out of the deal, which actually makes me not really want to hold up Delver Scry very much. I'd rather get an island. Do I want a red source? Probably just in case. It's the top deck Nux. That's what I'm considering here. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I think I'd rather have the 2 life. We hit the Bolt. Denial is probably going to be fantastic. It also transforms Delver. Let's just do that. Tarmogoyf is going to be sacrificed. And I'm pretty sure we swing with the team. Given that for them to favorably block Delver, they have to give up their click. Yeah, that was sweet. Alright. Our opponent is almost certainly on Bant Spirits. What are we going to do about it? Blood Moon seems pretty good against them. Mostly because of... I guess their mana base isn't that greedy. But they do have Gavany Township. They probably have a non-zero amount of answers to Blood Moon, but I don't think I really want all 3. I'm going to double check what Mausoleum Wanderer can counter. I want to check if it's all non-creatures or just instants and sorceries. Mausoleum Wanderer counters instants and sorceries. That's 1 fewer answer they have to Blood Moon, which definitely makes me want to err closer to the side of 2 as opposed to 3, if anything. EE seems good. Take out a bunch of Drogskull captains. They don't quite have the density of 2 CMC plays that Merfolk does, but I think EE is going to be good. Pyroclasm is something I'm interested in. Huntmaster as well. Huntmaster and Blood Moon noticeably are going to be worse here than usual, mostly because of Spell Queller. Spell Queller is a very good card. Ceremonious Rejection looks quite bad. I don't think I want Snare. I'm going to look up a Spirits list. And I don't believe the Bant version plays Aether Vial, Sometimes the Esper and blue-white ones will, but the Bant version plays collected company. Let's see what we can find out on MTG Goldfish really quickly. View more decks. I have just learned that Bant Spirits is not popular at all. Definitely more popular than Delver. They do have a lot of 2s, so I do think, yeah, Spell Snare is going to be good. It's actually going to get even better post-board because of Blessed Alliance and cards like that. Spreading Seas, wow, rest in peace. That's something I should have thought of without having to look at anything. Do I want to play around Rest in Peace with Destructive Revelry? I don't really think so. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that. We're boarding in these 8, and we need to board out pretty quickly. What's coming out? Probably Knuckleblade. They're not going to have a lot of fatties I need to contest. I think we're going to board out a number of Mandrills. Probably Vapor Snag. Looks pretty bad. Dismember also doesn't look great here. They probably have Akira Great Glass Spinner, but I'm not sure what that does for us. I think I want to board out the Shoals. We're keeping in all the Bolt effects anyways. Do I want Anger? I actually probably want Anger. Anger seems pretty good here. Kind of mana intensive. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Yeah, let's do that. I don't actually know if I want Anger. It could be good. It could be really bad. If the opponent has a Drug Skull Captain or 2, it looks pretty good. Do I keep this? We have a lot of lands. We also have Goyf Visions and Bauble. I'm going to do it. The opponent mulls to 6, at the least. Down to 5. Mishra's Bauble, very notably, I don't think we've run into this problem yet, but Mishra's Bauble, Gitaxian Probe, Street Wraith, they have this problem where you don't know what you're going to draw with them. For example, and Mandrills is not at all relevant here, we're going to go Visions after fetching, but before Bauble. I'm not going to use the Fetch Scry, but I am going to use Bauble to get extra cards that we scry with Visions. Let's start off on a Steam Vents here. We could always use this one for Forest. We're going to shock. We're going to use Visions. We hit an island. So, okay, that's not actually relevant. I want both of these. I think I want Snapcaster Mage after the Pyroclasm, although thanks to Bauble, we're going to see both at the same time. I bottomed Snapcaster Mage. Whoops. That's a misclick. To be fair, Snapcaster Mage with this hand isn't doing that much, but I do think I wanted it. I definitely want Pyroclasm. Do think I wanted the Snapcaster Mage as well. The opponent did not fetch there, which leads me to believe they are operating Landlight. I am going to use the Bauble. I know what I'm drawing, so I may as well look at the opponents. They may very well fetch it away, but if there's still Landlight, they might not. The opponent has a click, or rather, they will soon have a click. And see, this is what I mean about not knowing what Bauble is. Mishra's Bauble represents every card in our deck at the proportion of which we have that card in our deck. So if we have 4 Goyfs, Mishra's Bauble is 1, not quite 15th, because Bauble comes out of the deck, but it's around 1/15th Goyf, 1/15th Mandrills, at least game 1 when we have 4. It's 1/15th Delver, it's 18 out of 60 a land, so you don't know what you're going to draw off of Bauble. We drew a Scalding Tarn, technically. We already knew about the Pyroclasm, so I'm going to count it as the Scalding Tarn. The opponent doesn't have anything here. We could speed out a Mandrills, which I think is what we're going to do. It's going to make Goyf bad. Let's just play Goyf. Why would I play Mandrills here when we could just play Goyf? That seems silly. Sequencing. Always remember sequencing. Question your decisions, unless you have next to no time on the clock. Then hastily choose to do things. We have a lot of lands. To be fair, I did keep a 4-lander. This could be a path. Or maybe not. They might just be getting rid of Click. Or maybe they're flashing in a Rattle Chains. I don't think they would shock. Yeah, it's Rattle Chains. They wouldn't shock if they just had Path. Rattle Chains comes in, gives itself hexproof. Not that that matters at all. They're going to have something of a clock. Hopefully, they put more stuff into this and we get a sweet Pyroclasm. They scooped. Not sure why. Maybe they had to go. Who knows? Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed that video. Hopefully Game 1 was enough to sate your cravings for Rug Delver versus Bant Spirits content. I thought it was a nice Game 1. I enjoyed it, that's for sure. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.